Stop. Haven't you hypocrites complained enough? Kevin believes he's an artist. The kind of person that should have his own theme song. Stop complaining and fuck right off. Why don't you bring some joy into the world for once? Kevin has always believed that anyone who thinks the meaning of life is to see the world for themselves is irredeemably dull. You could spend your entire life measuring the world in footsteps. However, only animals need to mark their territory to prove they were there. But we're human. God is dead, the people screamed. The younger generation no longer believe that the living and the dead will face any kind of final judgment. We've finally realized that in this cold, abandoned world, life is so short and absurd. Lucky that we're human. Lucky that we have art. Reality might be flawed, but art can soothe the most tortured souls. Of course, great art is seldom easy to understand. But that doesn't change this fact. Art is our only chance to achieve immortality. Don't get it wrong, Kevin isn't a painter or anything. In fact, most people would call him a game developer. But Kevin believes that games are the ninth art. It's more accurate to just call him an artist. Truth be told, Kevin made some good games in the past, some of which sold well. Not these games, of course. They sold a lot better than just well. Kevin just took the basic formula of those hits and tweaked them a little bit. It's no wonder that they say that all games are rip-offs. But Kevin always says he only makes these games to support his family. His ultimate goal in life is to make a game that's a true work of art, so he can die without regrets. People ask him all the time what kind of game could possibly let him die without regrets. He always replies, "I'm still imagining it." A new day begins. Kevin usually thinks that people who play with their phones in the bathroom are wasting their lives. It might be best to let that electronic nonsense continue to poison their minds. But an artist like Kevin, who wants to create an immortal game, will use that time to evolve creatively. Huh. Seems like a perfect game wasn't built in a day. I should take my time, Kevin thinks. Whenever Kevin opens the App Store and sees the same pay-to-win games at the top of the rankings, he despairs over the average player's taste in games. But then again, considering that a stagnant market might give him more chance to create a breakthrough game, Kevin can't help but get excited. The only coherent philosophical stance is resistance. Yet, on second thoughts, Kevin realizes he needs a better strategy. To really fight the status quo, he'll need to understand what's going on in the game industry. So Kevin spends most of his time playing games. Of course, he calls it game research. Let's check out the top-ranking games in the App Store first. Are game designers these days always in such a hurry? It's just a black and white prototype, and they're already pushing it to market. Maybe researching this kind of game could help me out. Nah, forget it. Let's dig deeper into some casual games. Perhaps I'll find inspiration there. For a casual game, its gameplay is okay, but its art style is far too atrocious. My 9th art masterpiece won't look anything like this. Moving on. Next. This game has a pretty unique style. Might even attract some casuals. But the gameplay is just like fast food. Simple and insubstantial. That's not what I want. But what exactly does Kevin want? He's still trying to imagine it every day. He worries that if he begins work without finding the perfect design, that would mean betraying his artistic principles. The day is almost over, and Kevin isn't any closer to finishing his design. Although all great artists suffer from the same procrastination like him, but he can't go on like this all the time. Maybe he'll research one last game today. Unexpectedly, this last game is pretty good. Anyway, I've got nothing else to do. Maybe I should base my own game on this. Even artists have got to eat. We can't live off ideals alone. Once he gets into gear, Kevin works really quickly. Perfect. It's getting late. That's all for today. Time is always tough before bed. Does that mean Kevin has insomnia? No. Only those with weak and empty heart get insomnia. Kevin just feels a little melancholy. Maybe that's a burden that every artist must bear. Though he hasn't made his amazing game yet, so calling himself an artist is a bit premature. But as Natsume Soseki once said, if a person has a painting in his heart, he is already a painter, even if he has never painted. That's true for me too, Kevin thinks. Nah, never mind. I should stop counting. Counting sheep helps some people sleep, but it doesn't work at all for Kevin. Every time Kevin tells himself that he'll fall asleep when he counts to 999, but always sadly discovers himself still awake when he gets there. That sadness makes it even harder to sleep. So when Kevin can't fall asleep now, he prefers to imagine a little man pushing a boulder. He pushes it up a hill, and it rolls down. He pushes it back up, and it rolls down again. Just like the happy lives of regular people. Just like the absurd lives of regular people. Don't need to worry about counting to 999 because he knows that nothing will happen if 1000 comes true. They say mankind has two reasons to despair: ignorance and hope. That's just like them. Just like them. Like them. When I left the bookstore, I left my umbrella there. I hope the person who carries it home is you.